ચંદ્રજીને વાદના ઉજ્વાલા. બહુ કોટી ચંદ્રજીને વાદના ઉજ્વાલા. गाला ते से बाना माला गोरे जलमाला. गाला ते से बाना माला गोरे जलमाला. Gada gada Siva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada भाकती विनोदा देखे गोरा रसंपादा. भाकती विनोदा देखे गोरा रसंपादा. कृष्णपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने. सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य सतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. Jai Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Different tune, different tune. I'll mute your tune, different tune. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. जय ओम विष्णुपद परमहंस परिव्रताचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपद परमहंस परिव्रताचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। मथुरा धाम की जय। नवद्वीप धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। यमुना माई की जय। गंगा माई की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Daide Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha Shilatankana Kalaihe Ito Deshimha Parato Deshimha Yato Yato Yamitato Nishimha Ahi Nishimha Hirae Nishimha Narashim Hamadim Sharanam Prapare Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Ishavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Ishavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Lord Nrsingadeva Ki Prahlad Maharaj Ki Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Alrighty, Bhagavad Gita, introduction prayer, starting on page 1. Omagana Termandasya Gyana Jana Shalakya Shaluti Community Gyane Tasme Shigurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kara Mayam Dadati Swapadatikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who is established within this material world, the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakam Malam Shri Guna Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Saha Gana Ragunan Vitam Tasa Javam Sadvetam Sadhutam Prajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishkana Vitam Cha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanata Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadhar, Srivasa, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates, Sri Lalita and Vishakam. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dino Bandhu, Drakapate, Gopisha, Gopika, Kanta, Radha, Kanta, Namasute. Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapa Kanchana Garangi Rade, Vishpada Zispade, Vishpanusute Devi Pranam, Lamitme Hare Priye. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose body complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vishpanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Panchakapat Tukareyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaya Devascha Bhaktitanam Bhakpadam Vaya Vaishnavaya Namo Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Vaita Gadhar, Sri Vastugaur Bhaktinanda. I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Vaita Gadhar, Sri Vasa, and all others in the line of devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we are on chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. I believe we're starting at verse 13 today, is that right? Chapter 4, verse 13, Transcendental Knowledge. Chaturvanayam mayam shristam guna karma vibhagasya dasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram avijayam. Translation: according to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. Text 14. Nomam karmani limpanti name karma bahale sripa iti mamyo vijanati kama vihir nasa padyate. Translation: there is no work that affects me, nor do I expire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. Text 15. Evam gyatva kritam karma huvir api mumu shukvi kudu karma maiva tasmat tvam purvai purvataram kritam. Translation: all the liberated souls in the ancient times acted with this understanding and so attained liberation. Therefore, as ancients, you should perform your duty in this divine consciousness. Text 16. Kim karma kim akarmati kavayopi atra mohita tate karma pravak shami yagatva mokshasi shivat. Translation: even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all sins. Text 17. Kamanohi api bodavyam cha vikaramana akarmanas cha Dahavyam Kahana Karmano Gati. Translation: the intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Text 18. Karmaniya karmaya pasya akarmani cha karmaya Sabuddham imam manushyeshu sayukta Krishna karma kirit. Translation: one who sees inaction and action, inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Text 19. Yasya sarve samarambaha karma sankalpa varchita yananagi dagdaha karmanam tamahu panditam udaha. Translation: one is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every act is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker whose fruitive action is burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Text 20. Tayakva karma pala sangam nitya tripto nirashraya karmani api parvatito api Naiva kinchit karatoshaha. Translation: abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. Text 21. Yarasir yakta chittatma kayakta sarva parigraha Sairam kevalam karma bhuvam napnoti kubisham. Translation: such a man of understanding acts with the mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. Text 22. Yaricha laba santusto duanda dito vimatsara sama siddha asira cha kritvapina nibadyate. Translation: he who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled although performing actions. Text 23. Kata sangasya mutasya yanavasita chetasya yaganyat charata karma samagram pravityate. Translation: the work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. Final text this evening, text 24. Brahmaramanapam Brahman Havir Brahmagno Brahmanahudam Brahmagatena Gantavayam Brahma Karma Samadhina. Translation: a person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because all of his contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. Turning to text 13. Translation purport as Ryan Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: according to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. And although I am the creator of the system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. Kunita ki jai. Report. The Lord is the creator of everything. Everything is born of him. Everything is sustained by him. Everything after annihilation rests in him. He is therefore the creator of the four divisions of social order. Beginning with the intelligent class of men, technically called the Brahmanas, due to their being situated in the mode of goodness. Next is the administrative class, technically called the Kshatriyas, due to their being situated in the mode of passion. Mercantile men, the Vaishyas, are situated in the mixed modes of passion and ignorance. And the Sudras, or labor class, are situated in the ignorant mode of material nature. In spite of his creating the four divisions of human society, Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these divisions, because he is not one of the conditioned souls, a section of whom form human society. Human society is similar to any other animal society, but to elevate men from the animal statute, the above-mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for the systematic development of Krishna consciousness. The tendency of a particular man towards work is determined by the modes of material nature which he has acquired. Such symptoms of life, according to the different modes of material nature, are described in the 18th chapter of this book. A person in Krishna consciousness, however, is above even the Brahmanas, because a Brahmana by quality is supposed to know about Brahman, the supreme absolute truth. Most of them approach the impersonal Brahman manifestation of Lord Krishna. But only a man who transcends limited knowledge of the Brahman and reaches the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, becomes a person of Krishna consciousness, or in other words, Vaishnava. Krishna consciousness includes knowledge of all different plenary expansions of Krishna, namely Rama, Krishna, Varaha, etc. However, as Krishna is transcendental to the system of the four divisions of human society, A person of Krishna consciousness is also transcendental to all divisions of human society, whether we consider the divisions of community, nation, or species. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So as you see, many of these verses entail about action and inaction. Much of which we have to come to realize that we have to be unattached by the outcome of our actions. That is acting in Krishna consciousness. If you're attached to your work, you're being entangled into this world of karma. You will have karmic reactions if you're attached to your work. If you're attached to the outcome, if you're upset when you fail and you rejoice when you succeed, you're being entangled. Why is this? Because we are still recognizing ourselves as the doer, even though we're not the doer. Krishna is the doer. Krishna is the beginning and ending of everything. So we learn in the Bhagavad Gita to perform our duty without attachment, to perform our duty without expectation of succeeding or failing, without this being attached to emotional outcome of these things. That's very hard to do in today's world, because in today's world, we grow up, learning, from very, very young age, you got to take pride in your work. You got to take pride in what you do. It's the American dream. You get a good education, you go out there and get a good job. You get the good education, you get the good job, you get the good woman, you get the nice house, you get the nice vacations and the nice retirement. All these things are attached to work, to your actions. And so many people are identifying themselves with what occupation they are. Think about when you were growing up, dreaming about what we're going to do when we became an adult. We always, asking, talking in class, what you want to be? A firefighter, astronaut, a doctor? People become attached to these titles. People become attached to their work. And that's all entangling. When you're attached to your work, you're attached to the outcome. When you see yourself as a doer, you're entangling yourself in karma. The only way to get around this is to become unattached, to put everything in Krishna's hands. No matter if I succeed or fail, it's all in Krishna's hands. I just could imagine Srila Prabhupada coming to America at his age, with barely any money whatsoever, didn't know anyone. Here he came over to America, didn't know if he was going to succeed or fail. But he kept pushing forward, and it's interesting to see his example, because he wasn't attached to his work. He was just pushing forward and doing what his spiritual master requested of him, which turned into a worldwide movement, and within 10 years, the amount that he accomplished at his age. Most people have a hard time starting up one small business. He launched a worldwide movement, thousands of disciples, unattached to his work. Move on to text 14. Translation. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruit of actions of work. Purport. As there are constitutional laws in the material world stating that the king can do no wrong, or that the king is not subject to the state laws, similarly, the Lord, although he is the creator of the material world, is not affected by the activities of the material world. He creates and remains aloof from the creation, whereas living entities are entangled in the fruitive results of material activities because of their propensity for lording it over material resources. The proprietor of an establishment is not responsible for the right and wrong activities of the workers, but the workers are themselves responsible. The living entities are engaged in their respective activities of sense gratification, and these activities are not ordained by the Lord. For advancement of sense gratification, the living entities are engaged in the work of this world, and they aspire to heavenly happiness after death. The Lord, as being full in himself, has no attraction for so-called heavenly happiness. The heavenly demigods are only his engaged servants. The proprietor never desires a low-grade happiness such as the workers may desire. He is aloof from the material actions and reactions. For example, the rains are not responsible for different types of vegetation that appear on the earth. Although without such rains, there is no possibility of vegetative growth. Vedic Smriti confirms this fact as follows. Nimitta matram ish ivasho shrijanyam sarga karmani Pradana karani bhuta yato vai srijya saktaya. In the material creation, the Lord is only the supreme cause. Immediate cause is material nature by which the cosmic manifestation is visible. The created beings are of many varieties, such as demigods, human beings, and lower animals, and all of them are subject to the reactions of their past good or bad activities. The Lord only gives them the proper facilities for such activities and the regulations of the modes of nature. But he is never responsible for their past and present activities. In the Vedanta Sutras, it is confirmed that the Lord is never partial to any living entity. Living entity is responsible for his own acts. The Lord only gives him facilities through the agency of material nature, the external energy. Anyone who is fully conversant with all the intricacies of this law of karma or fruitive activities does not become affected by the results of his activities. In other words, a person who understands his transcendental nature of the Lord is an experienced man in Krishna consciousness, and thus he is never subject to the laws of karma. One who does not know the transcendental nature of the Lord and who thinks that the activities of the Lord are aimed at fruitive results, as are the activities of the ordinary living entities, certainly becomes entangled himself in fruitive reaction. But one who knows the supreme truth is liberated, soul fixed in Krishna consciousness. So here again it's affirming that when you're attached to the fruitive results of your actions, of your work, you're making yourself more entangled in this world. You're being entangled by karma, by the results of your actions. And it's only by how should I say? It's only by not being attached to results of your actions, which can be very hard to do because our ego is so much attached to what we do in life, so much attached to the work that we do. when you have the realization it's all in Krishna hands, whether you succeed or fail, it's all Krishna's doing. You know, it's not your doing. And you can become free from the material, from the karmic reactions of the work. You have to do everything in Krishna consciousness, doing it for Krishna, being as a servant. Any questions or comments? Text 15. Translation. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding and so attained liberation. Therefore, as the ancients, you should perform your duty in this divine consciousness. Purport. There are two classes of men. Some of them are full of polluted material things within their hearts, and some of them are materially free. Krishna consciousness is equally beneficial for both of these persons. Those who are full of dirty things can take to the line of Krishna consciousness for a gradual cleansing process. Following the regular principles of devotional service. Those who are already cleansed of the impurities may continue to act in the same Krishna consciousness so that others may follow their exemplary activities and thereby be benefited. Foolish persons or neophytes in Krishna consciousness often want to retire from activities without having knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Arjuna's desire to retire from activities on the battlefield was not approved by the Lord. One need only know how to act. To retire from the activities of Krishna consciousness and to sit aloof, making a show of Krishna consciousness, is less important than actually engaging in the field of activities for the sake of Krishna. Arjuna is here advised to act in Krishna consciousness, following the footsteps of the Lord's previous disciples, such as the Sangha Vishvasvan, and mentioning herein before. The Supreme Lord knows all his past activities, as well as those of the persons who act in Krishna consciousness in the past. Therefore, he recommends the acts of the Sun God who learned this art from the Lord some millions of years before. All such students of Lord Krishna are mentioned here as past liberated persons engaged in the discharge of duties allotted by Krishna. So do your duty. You know, it's not advised to sit aloof, give up all activities. And one has to work. One has to, one has to have action in this life. I mean, how long can you sit in one spot and perform no actions for? Not very long, right? That's why it's so important that whatever we're doing it. We're putting our full effort in and doing it in Krishna consciousness, following what our gurus told us to do, following what our authorities are telling us to do. And whether we succeed or fail, it should not matter to us. Again, we're just doing our duty. You know, if your guru says, I want you to go out and, make a temple in a far-off land somewhere. Well, if you fail doing it, you end up dying before a temple's built. You fail in it, it should not matter. It wasn't Krishna's will. Like I say, Krishna is the originator of everything. It doesn't matter if we succeed or fail. We just have to do our duty. If we're attached to the results, then we're going to be entangled in karma. Karma is going to entangle us. Text 16. Even the intelligents are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all sins. Purport. Action in Krishna consciousness has to be executed in accord with the examples of previous bona fide devotees. This recommended in the 15th verse. Why such action should not be independent will be explained in the text to follow. To act in Krishna consciousness, one has to follow the leadership of authorized persons who are in the line of a disciplinic succession, as explained in the beginning of this chapter. The system of Krishna consciousness was first narrated to the sun god, and the sun god explained it to his son Manu. Manu explained it to his son Ishvaku, and the system is current on this earth from the very remote time. Therefore, one has to follow in the footsteps of previous authorities in the line of disciplinic succession. Otherwise, even the most intelligent men would be bewildered regarding the standard actions of Krishna consciousness. For this reason, the Lord decided to instruct Arjuna in Krishna consciousness directly. Because of the direct instruction of the Lord to Arjuna, anyone who follows in the footsteps of Arjuna is certainly not bewildered. It is said that one cannot ascertain the ways of religion simply by imperfect experimental knowledge. Actually, the principles of religion can only be laid down by the Lord himself. Brahman hi sakshat bhavadat pranitam. No one can manufacture a religious principle by imperfect speculation. One must follow in the footsteps of great authorities like Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Manu, Kumara, Kapila, Prahlad, Bhishma, Sukadev, Goswami, Yamaraj, Janaka, etc. By mental speculation, one cannot ascertain what is religion or self-realization. Therefore, out of causeless mercies to his devotees, the Lord explains directly to Arjuna what action is and what inaction is. Only action performed in Krishna consciousness can deliver a person from the entanglement of material existence. So when we're acting in Krishna consciousness, we're actually developing a spiritual body. When we're using our body in Krishna consciousness, when we're using our senses in Krishna consciousness, when we're using this body and using our material senses for material things, we are creating a body in this material world for future birth. That's the key. So when we're acting in Krishna consciousness, using our senses in Krishna consciousness, we're developing a body to be reborn into the spiritual world, not the material world. So even with our senses, our sense of hearing, when we're using our sense of hearing to hear the words from the spiritual master, to hear the kirtan, to hear the mantra, this is developing your spiritual ears that are, so you can be reborn with spiritual ears in the spiritual world. And you're smelling the incense that's been offered to Krishna, smelling the flowers that's been offered to Krishna, smelling the prasadam that's been offered to Krishna. You're developing that spiritual sense of smell in your spiritual body. Same thing with the sight, your sense of sight, sense of seeing the deity, seeing your spiritual master, seeing the books, seeing the words in the books, seeing all these things that's been offered to Krishna. You're developing your spiritual sight. When you're using your body in service in Krishna consciousness, you're developing that spiritual body to be reborn into. And that's why it says it's purifying when we're doing all doing everything in Krishna consciousness, when we're doing the Maha Mantra, we're trying to vanquish the material body that we have spent so much time developing, because birth after birth after birth, all of our past activities, material activities, has given us this present body. And this present body, when we're not acting in Krishna consciousness, we are developing the body for our next life to be reborn into. So if we're engaged in material things, this karmic reaction will give us a material body for this next life to be reborn into. But when we can be purified of these activities, these past activities, that material body disappears and the spiritual body remains. So one becomes purified and is acting in Krishna consciousness, they can be reborn into the spiritual world and never come back. Any questions or comments? Text 17. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Purport. If one is serious about liberation, material bondage, one has to understand the distinction between action, inaction, and unauthorized actions. One has to apply oneself to such analysis of action, reaction, and perverted actions, because it is very difficult subject matter. It is a very difficult subject matter. To understand Krishna consciousness and action according to the modes, one has to learn one's relationship with the Supreme, i.e., one has learned, perfectly knows that every living entity is the eternal servitor of the Lord, and that consequently one has to act in Krishna consciousness. The entire Bhagavad Gita is directed towards this conclusion. Any other conclusions against this consciousness and its attendant reactions are vikarmas, or prohibitive actions. To understand all this, one has to associate with authorities in Krishna consciousness and learn the secret from them. This is as good as learning from the Lord directly. Otherwise, even the most intelligent person will be bewildered. Text 18. Translation. One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he who is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Purport. A person acting in Krishna consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. His activities are all performed for Krishna. Therefore, he does not enjoy or suffer any of the efforts of work. Consequently, he is intelligent in human society, even though he is engaged in all sorts of activities for Krishna. Akarma means without reactions to work. The impersonalist ceases fruitive activities out of fear, so that the resultant action may not be a stumbling block on the path of self-realization. But the personalist knows rightly his position as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he engages himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness. Because everything is done for Krishna, he enjoys only transcendental happiness in the discharge of this service. Those who are engaged in this process are known to be without desire for personal sense gratification. The sense of eternal servitorship to Krishna makes one immune to all sorts of reactionary elements of work. Text 19. One is understood to be in full knowledge whose every act is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker whose fruit of action is burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Purport. Only a person of full knowledge can understand the activities of a person in Krishna consciousness. Because a person in Krishna consciousness is devoid of all kinds of sense-gravitatory propensities, it's to be understood that he has burned up the reactions of his work by perfect knowledge of his constitutional position as the internal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has actually learned who has attained to such perfection of knowledge. Development of this knowledge of the eternal servitorship of the Lord is compared to fire. Such a fire, once kindled, can burn up all kinds of reactions to work. Text 20. Abandoning all attachments to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. Purport. This freedom from the bondage of actions is possible only in Krishna consciousness when one is doing everything for Krishna. A Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he has no attraction for the results of the action. He is not even attached to his personal maintenance, for everything is left to Krishna. Nor is he anxious to secure things, nor to protect things already in his possession. He does his duty to his best ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Such an unattached person is always free from the resultant actions of good and bad, as though he were not doing anything. This is the sign of akarma, or actions without fruitive reactions. Any other action, therefore, devoid of Krishna consciousness, is binding upon the worker, and that the real aspect of vikarma, as explained hereinbefore. Any questions or comments so far? No questions or comments? Text 21. Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence, perfectly controlled, give up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. Report. A Krishna conscious person does not expect good or bad results in his activities. His mind and intelligence are fully controlled. He knows that he is part and parcel of the Supreme, and therefore the part played by him as a part and parcel of the whole, and is not by choice, but is chosen for him by the Supreme, and is done only through his agency. When the hand moves, it does not move out of its own accord, but by the endeavor of the whole body. A Krishna conscious person is always dovetailed with the supreme desire, for he has no desire for personal sense gratification. He moves exactly like a part of a machine. As a machine part requires oiling and cleaning for maintenance, similarly a Krishna conscious man maintains himself by his work, just to remain fit for action in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. He is therefore immune to all the reactions of his endeavors. Like an animal, he has no proprietorship even over his own body. A cruel proprietor of an animal sometimes kills the animal in his possession, yet the animal does not protest, nor does it have any real independence. Krishna conscious person is fully engaged in self-realization, has very little time to falsely possess any material object. For maintaining body and soul, he does not require unfair means of accumulating money. He does not therefore become contaminated by such material sins. He is free from all reactions to his actions. Any last minute questions or comments before we conclude? Bhagavad Gita ki jai.